Cool. All right. So I'm going to jump right into Google Classroom. We have very limited time, so I realize I gotta move fast. But thank you all for being here. So I'm going to start now going into Google Classroom and kind of show you some perhaps lesser known features and some kind of strategies for organizing your Google Classroom. I wanted to start by having you guys actually join one of my Google Classrooms. So you guys are going to join my Google Classroom as a student. That way you'll get to see kind of some of the things from the student perspective. So let me share my screen. There we go. So if you guys could, please, you're going to go to Google Classroom, however you like to get there. You can always just go to classroom.google.com and get to Google Classroom just like that. And when you get there, you're going to hit this plus sign up at the top and select Join Class. And then in just a second here, I'm going to give you my class code. You're going to Google Classroom, go to the plus sign to join class. And then you are going to join with this code, 3ID S4. Maybe just give me a thumbs up or let me know in the chat once you've joined the class. Cool, thank you, Deborah. So we're just joining my Google Classroom. You guys will be like a student, not like a student, you will be a student in my Google Classroom.
My apologies. I'm just like super laggy. It always happens in the afternoon. I don't know.
That's okay.
I mean, I wrote it down. I'll join as soon as I can. Don't wait for me
Cool.
there because
Yeah, and we'll also have the
loading.
recording, so you can always, reference back to the recording if you want
Yeah.
to remember how to do something. I know it's not
Okay.
as good as
Taking
actually
my
doing it hands-on, but
yeah.
okay. Let's see, Joan, Sue, Anna, you guys think you're ready to go? Let me see here who's joined. So, yep, and then Sharon, hopefully you'll be able to join in there in a minute. I'll post in the chat real quick the code so that once you do get to Google Classroom, Sharon, you can join with that code in the chat. Okay, I'm going to kind of go through these tabs and hopefully show you, hopefully you'll walk away with this from at least one or two tips or tricks that you didn't know existed in Google Classroom before, and be able to use those with your students in Google Classroom. So I'm going to start here on the Stream tab. So the first thing I wanted to show you is that this Announce Something to Your Class section is a great way to communicate with just a single student or groups of students. If you're having trouble finding other ways to communicate with them, especially under third grade, they don't have email. You want a way to be able to send a message to a particular student. It's a great way to do this in the stream here. So if I click in that field, I can say, hey, your project is due tomorrow. And maybe, right, that it's the only student who hasn't done their project is Susan, right? And if I use this drop down right here, I can, instead of sending it to the whole class, just send this to Susan. And then it tells me here there's one student. I could add something to this, a document or whatever I wanted, but now I'm going to go ahead and post that. And now the only person who is going to see that in their stream other than me is Susan, right? And she could choose to respond here, and I would see it. So it acts as like a chat between Sue and I, right? Just between us two. The other thing I could do is maybe I wanted to start a group chat. There's, 4 of you are in a group together on a project. I could go into that stream and say, isn't a very good example. I'm just saying talk to each other. And now I'm going to add, these 3 students that are in a group together into that chat and then post it to them. And now if one of you 3 wouldn't mind, I'm going to, Anna, Deborah, or Susan, if one of you wouldn't mind posting something where it says add class comment, just type a hello or something like that. And what you'll notice is it acts as similar to like a group conversation between these 3 students and myself. So if Anna posts something, the other students will see it, and I will also see it as the teacher. Refresh here and see if anyone's posted anything yet. So Sharon, if you want to try posting, so Sharon was able to post in the chat to the whole group. You got in, yay, awesome. See if I could add here. I'm going to add you to this group chat here, Sharon. And then you guys can see, right, now this is a group chat just between you guys. Awesome, thank you, Sue. Right, so now the other students in this class should be able to see Sue's, right? The only person who can't see it right now is Kate, because I didn't include her in this chat, or Kate. So this is a great communication tool for group conversations and also just a quick chat between one-on-one between the student and teacher. The other thing I wanted to show you on the Stream tab is this upcoming box. It looks different based on the teacher view versus the student view. But if you guys look here, right, this tells the student and the teacher what has been assigned, right, that's coming up. If I go to this view all, right, and as a teacher, it's also the same thing as going to this, if I go up here to the hamburger menu, to the to review area, what it'll do is, hopefully it doesn't take too long to load, but it will tell me as the teacher things that I've assigned to the students that I haven't graded yet. It'll give me a nice little snapshot. Here are all the things you still have left ungraded. Right, so here I have this assignment, right, that's ungraded. And if I had more, it would list them all here. I could also do that for all my classes. I don't want to click on it right now because I have a bajillion classes and it will take forever to load. But you guys could do that, right? Especially if you're a secondary teacher and you have 4 or 5 different sections. You could say all classes and see a quick snapshot of what's left to grade in those classes. For students, what you guys might see if you click on it now is you can filter by, missing work or what's coming up. Right? So it's a nice tool also to show your students to get them kind of caught up on what they need to do in the class. I'm going to click on my 3 lines here and go back to my Tech Tank classroom to get back to the screen. Any questions on the Stream tab before I move on to the Classwork tab? Good to go. All right, let's keep moving. Feel free to interject if you guys do come across a question. So now I'm going over here to the Classwork tab. And right, this is where kind of all the meat and potatoes, they say, of the Google Classroom is. And it can get kind of crazy, right, with all the posts and things that are in there. So I'm going to show you some organizational tools here. So what I did is I created topics, right? So I'm imagining, for me, I'm always in the mind of an elementary classroom teacher, right? But I have work that's going to be assigned every day of the week to them, right? Maybe I have important announcements here. So you can use topics to organize the assignments nice and neatly for your students. So to create a topic, I'm going to go up here to this Create button and select Topic. The only day of the week that I haven't done yet is Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and add Friday there. I'm going to post in the chat in a second for you guys these nice emojis, right? I love using these emojis. I feel like it draws attention to those for the students, right? It makes it a little bit more fun for them to read. But I'm using what's called an emoji keyboard extension up here. And I'm thinking Friday is a celebration day, so maybe I'll use this one. Maybe I want to use this one. Sorry. Actually, give me the little squares. Let me try again. There we go. So it just drops it right in there for me, right? That little emoji, and then I can say add. And now I have my Friday topic or subject or header there that I can organize all my assignments under for Friday. One thing that you may know or not know about topics is that you can drag to reorder them really easily. So if I can click on Friday and I want that way down here at the bottom of my list, I can click and drag to reorder it. And I have this topic here, important announcements. Maybe I always want that at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and move that to the top here. The other thing that you guys can do in the classroom is if you have assignments like these that I haven't categorized with a topic, you can also click and drag these and drop them into a topic. So rather than having to go in and edit the assignment and flag it with that topic, right, you would do that in here. Over here, topic, then I would choose this drop down. I can actually just click and drag. So I can say, oh, this is something for Monday. This one here, something for Tuesday, and just go ahead and organize those that way by clicking and dragging. So and actually, let me go ahead and post this in the chat because I said I would.
Is it the emoji extension? I've already added it.
You are so awesome, but I think you use a different one than me. Oh no, it's the same one. It's awesome. So what was I going to say? Oh, something else that we get asked a lot about is, okay, I'm done with all those assignments for the week, right? And now I want to kind of clear those out so that next week I can add their, their new Monday assignment and their new Tuesday assignment. What's the best way to do that? So what I recommend doing is go to create, select topic, and create a topic called archive or old work or whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to say add. I won't take the time to add an emoji to that. But then I'm going to take this archive and put it way down here at the bottom. So it's kind of hidden, right? The students would really have to scroll to get all the way down there. And then when I'm done with the Monday work, I can just go ahead and move that to the archive, right? Take this one, move it to the archive, so that now these topics are all cleared out for the following week. And I could just do this every day on Friday, move those around. So now this is all cleared out for new work for the next week. This stuff is still here. And if a student hasn't, completed it or whatever, they still have access to complete it, but it's just kind of hidden out of the way. So this classwork isn't so messy. Questions about that? One other thing to point out to your students, I think it's more helpful for students, is that over here on the left, you guys should see that you have this ability to filter by topic. So if you have kids where it's too much on the screen for them, tell them today's Monday, just go ahead and click on Monday, and that way you will only see, what's going on for that day. You don't have to deal with the rest of that clutter. Questions about that? Something else that we get a lot is this down here, especially because when students join a Google Classroom, they always land on the stream, and the stream gets messy, right? Because all these assignments that I posted, it gives these little announcements that I posted them. And for students, sometimes that's kind of too crazy. So you can actually turn that off so that it doesn't post a little announcement to the stream every time you create an assignment. And the way to do that is I'm going to go up here to the top right to the settings gear and scroll down in my settings. And this option, classwork on the stream. Right now it's condensed notifications, so it's going to give just one little line item like, hey, Ms. Felton posted an assignment. I could choose to hide notifications completely. So it won't put all those little posts on the stream. And instead, students would have to strictly view their assignments from the classwork tab. Would have to go here and then see their assignments. Any questions? All right, moving on. Cool, thanks, Sharon. So now I'm gonna kind of go over some frequently asked questions that we get about assignments specifically. So I'm gonna go up here to the create button and create an assignment. Just going to call this test assignment, right? I would put my instructions. And I'm going to add a file here from Google Drive. And my intention is, for lack of a better word, this is like a worksheet. right? I want each of my students to get a copy of this to be able to complete this worksheet. What do I want to assign here? Whatever, doesn't really matter. I'll take that. So you guys are probably very familiar with this little drop down. Students can view file, edit file, or make a copy. Most of us probably use this make a copy option most of the time. Sometimes, because we are very busy teachers, we forget, right, to mark that make a copy for each student. And we just go up here and we say assign. And then you'll notice what happens. You say, oh, I forgot it needs to be make a copy for each student. You go back here, you say, I want to edit this. And you go here to this drop down and you say, wait, that option isn't there anymore. So this is kind of a common gotcha of Google Classroom that you may have run into. So you have to, when you're assigning something, select the make a copy option right away. Otherwise, you don't get the option. So you're kind of left with two things you can do. You can completely delete this assignment and start all over again, right? Or you could, if you had put a lot of work into the instructions, maybe you had, a bunch of different links here, whatever it is, you could choose to reuse post. So I'm going to go up here to create, select reuse post. It's going to ask me which class do you want to reuse it from. It's the same class, Tech Tank, this test assignment, right? I can say I want to choose that. Notice this box is automatically checked by default, create new copies of all attachments. I'm going to now say reuse post, and then it'll give me that option to make a copy for each student. So again, that might be faster if you put a ton of effort into the instructions and all that, and you don't want to have to retype it over. Then I can say, okay, now make a copy for each student. Go ahead and assign that one. And then most likely you want to delete the old one, right, that you assigned incorrectly, this one. I would just go ahead and delete that. Questions about that? Cool. Another common gotcha when you're creating an assignment is, actually this might be a good thing for you to know, and a gotcha, up here where it says for, you can, especially this is helpful for you secondary teachers, right? If you have multiple sections that you want to push an assignment out to, you don't have to go to each classroom and push it out, individually. In this little drop down right here, you have the option to push it to multiple classes, the same assignment. The one thing to note about that is if you like scheduling assignments, so you're super on top of it, and on Sunday afternoon, you're scheduling assignments to go out on Monday morning, you can use this little drop down here normally to schedule assignments. But you'll notice if I am assigning to more than one class, it does not give me the option to schedule. So that's just one thing to note. Any questions about that? I hope that made sense. Okay, cool. And I also wanted to point out, which I think you guys are probably familiar with, but it's worth mentioning. When you're creating assignments, right, you can always create differentiated assignments with this all students dropdown, right? So maybe, Kate and Sharon, I want them to get one version of an assignment, right? I think I have something here, quick example. Something about a cat. I know I had something about a cat here, like an article. I don't see it. Save my cat. So this is a certain lexile, right? This article. And maybe, Kate and Sharon need that lexile, right? I can assign that to them. And then the rest of the students, I can assign a more difficult article, right? That's at their lexile level. And go ahead. Well, you guys get the idea, right? I would attach it from Google Drive, and then the other students, not Kate and Sharon, these three would get that more difficult article. And then you can differentiate your assignments that way. 9 minutes. You guys hanging in there? Cool. Okay, I'm going to keep going unless you guys want to interject with one of your burning Google Classroom questions. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys is with grades, right? So you guys are probably familiar here with this grade. Over here, there's this grades tab, which gives you kind of a snapshot of the grade book for students. There are things you can do if you're not familiar, but sorry, let me show that again. I went up here to the settings gear, and there are settings within the grading option. So if I scroll all the way down, you have these options here for grading. So overall grade calculation, you can choose, right? I want it to be show the overall grade by total points, right? Just an average of all the assignments, right? I could choose, I don't want to show the students an overall grade. There's also this third option, weighted by category. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is probably, could be kind of more for secondary students. If you use, you have, let me show you here an example, add grade category, right? You have assignments, that's going to make up, whatever, 50% of students' grades. So anything that I flag as a regular assignment is going to be 50% of the students' grades, right? All tests, anything that I flag as a test is going to be worth 20% of the student's grade. And then whatever, homework, I don't know. You guys get the idea, right? That's going to be 30%. And then in the grade book, it'll actually, create an average based on that weighting. Another way that teachers use this, is if they want grades to show for students based on quarters or trimesters, right, at the elementary level. So for example, you just want students to see, right, their grade for trimester 1. I'm just going to quickly add all 3 trimesters here. Hopefully it's not too much torture watching me. And then what you could do is you could say, during trimester 1, you're going to weight 100% of all the assignments to trimester 1. And all the assignments during trimester 1, I'm going to flag with that grade category. Then once trimester 1 is done and all those assignments are kind of in the past, now what I'm going to do is all my new assignments, I'm going to flag with the trimester 2 grade category and switch my 100% to here. So now it's going to ignore all those trimester 1 assignments, right, in the grade book, and just show the kids an average of their work from trimester 2. So it could be helpful for some students, right, if they're absolutely failing miserably in trimester 1, right? But now, they've gotten online and they've gotten into the routine of things, and you just want to show them their average from trimester 2, you could use this strategy. And let me just show you in an assignment, in case that's not clear, where you would flag that. Let me go ahead and edit this assignment. It's, where is it? I think you have to save grade categories. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Kate reminded me I have to save these grade categories. I'll just put in one so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I should have hit save up there. So now I'm going to go in here and hit edit for this assignment. And right here, grade category, right? I would just flag this with trimester 1 and hit save. A question that I get a lot from elementary teachers is like, oh, this is what I need, right? I need a separate average for math, a separate average for social studies, a separate average, right? Because on the report cards, that's what we have to do. We have to give a grade for math, a grade for social studies. Unfortunately, here in the gradebook, it doesn't work. It doesn't give you averages or flag those assignments, right, just based on those. Does that make sense? So even if I said, this test 3 was a science assignment, it's not. There's no way to tell it. Just give me an average of just the science assignment. Just give me an average of what they did in math. Okay. We got 4 minutes. I'm going to keep going unless you guys interrupt me. Or not interrupt me. Ask me questions. So I'm going to go back up here into the settings gear to show you some more kind of features that you can turn on and off in Google Classroom. If I scroll down here, the stream, you guys are probably familiar with this one, but right now it's set to the most broad permissions where students can post and comment in the stream. You can always, say students can only comment. right? That means they can just type kind of like in a chat, but they couldn't post a Google Doc or something like that. Or you can do the most restrictive, which only the teacher can post or comment. Right? And you can turn that on and off. So if, okay, we're starting a group project, I want everybody to be able to comment, then I can turn that on. And when we're done with the group project, I'm going to turn it off. And then moving down here, where was the other thing I wanted to show? Oh, here, show deleted items. So, right, sometimes students will post something, right, maybe inappropriate, maybe not, and then delete it. You guys can always see a history of that stuff by turning on show deleted items. And you'll see those in the stream. You'll see the comment the student made with a little grayed out deleted next to it. So you guys can always go back and review that if you have to. Email notifications. So I'm going to close out that. If I go up here to the hamburger menu, the 3 lines, and scroll all the way down to the bottom of my long list, go away. You get this settings gear down here. And I can turn on and off email notifications. This first one kind of says, I want to receive emails or not. So I'm going to turn that on. Once I turn it on, I get these more nuanced things, right? So I could turn on, I want to get an email when someone comments on one of my posts, right, or not. And if you scroll down even further, you get this option here, class notifications. So like some of you might be in a Google Classroom for your whole school site, right? Maybe your admin sends out announcements that way. You don't want to get all those emails maybe from that one, or maybe you do, whatever it is. But you can turn on notifications by class here. That's a handy little tool. Maybe you're a co-teacher in someone's class. I think, Anna, you said you're an aide, right? If you're a co-teacher in a bunch of different classes and you don't want to keep getting all those emails every time someone posts an assignment or whatever, turns in work, you can turn that off, just for the class or the class.
Thank you.
Sure.
Me too. Thank you.
Okay. Questions for me? Something you want to see again, or something that happens to you in Google Classroom and you don't know why? Give you a lot to think about. Just so you guys know, you can put a GIF in your banner that makes it fun. Right? If you ever want to do that.
What's a GIF?
GIF is like this moving image. It's not a very good example here, but you can see it's a little shark swimming by, right?
Oh.
Like almost like a mini video kind of.
How do you do that?
So you use this upload photo option. Actually, first what you have to do is you have to find a GIF. I usually use a website called jiffy.com. I'll put that in the chat. And you find it, you save it to your computer, and then you go to upload photo, select a photo from your computer, and then you just find that image that you saved and add it.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
I'm going to change
it a little bit. Yeah, makes it more exciting for students. All right, I think that brings us to 3 o'clock. Feel free, you guys, to let me stop presenting here. To reach out if you have more questions. And you can always, let me put our email address in the chat. Oh, Kate did it because she's awesome, right? We have, for all the tech coaches, we have a combined email address called DTIC, District Technology Innovation Coach, at pvusd.net. And if you send an email to that email address, you're reaching all 3 of us, soon to be 4 of us, and we can respond pretty quickly.
Okay, that's good information too.
All right, thank you, Sue. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Sharon.
Nice seeing everyone.
Yeah, you too.
And
Bye.
Miranda, you said if I hung back,
Yeah.
you could tell me what that online thing was. You know what? I went back to it, and